Hi, this is Goldfarb. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Today I'm going to be talking about how to treat endometriosis naturally with diet and supplements. Endometriosis is an estrogen-dependent chronic gynecological disorder that significantly reduces the quality of life of affected women by restricting their physical, mental, and social well-being. Endometriosis can be painful at times, causing sharp pain during ovulation, bowel movements, and sexual intercourse. The condition can cause painful, heavy periods, as well as infertility in 30 to 50% of women who suffer from the disease. It also leads to increased risk of ovarian and other cancers. The precise cause of endometriosis still remains unknown, but some possible explanations include immune, endocrine, and genetic disorders and inflammation as well. Endometriosis affects about 10% of women of childbearing age worldwide, and the treatment options are very limited currently to hormonal therapy or surgical management. However, these methods do not cure the disease and may clash with the family's reproductive goals. Also, recurrence is very common after stopping hormonal treatment. Now, because the root of endometriosis is difficult to determine, it's hard to know beforehand whether the treatments like surgery and hormone therapy will be successful. Fortunately, dietary intervention and better lifestyle choices can treat the condition naturally. So let's look at the dietary and lifestyle changes that can help with endometriosis management. The first one is to avoid trans fats. In a study led by the Clinic for Geburtshilfe at the University of Düsseldorf in Germany, researchers studied the effects of nutrition on endometriosis, and the study showed that increased consumption of trans fats has a very negative impact on the disease, with women who consume trans fat being more likely to develop endometriosis. Another study showed that women in the highest quintile for the consumption of trans fats were 48% more likely to develop endometriosis when compared with women whose trans fat consumption was the lowest. Trans fats are found in animal products, in deep fried foods, and processed foods. So you want to be avoiding foods like microwave popcorn, margarine, shortening, frozen pizzas, dairy products, and meat products, which are all high in trans fats. You also want to increase your omega-3 fatty acid intake. Omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids play a role in regulating and reducing inflammatory mediators, those that cause inflammation in the body, which can help decrease the proliferation of endometriosis. Also, a diet high in omega-3 fatty acids has been shown to minimize the painful menstruation that women with endometriosis suffer from. Foods that are the healthiest and highest in omega-3 fatty acids include walnuts, chia seeds, and flaxseeds. And you can also supplement with an omega-3 fatty acid from a plant-based source, such as sage-based omega-3 fatty acid supplements. Now, you also want to avoid red and processed meats. Studies show that red meat like beef, lamb, veal, these are all associated with a higher risk of endometriosis. A study with a high amount of women followed for 20 years determined the relationship between meat consumption and endometriosis risk. The research shows a higher risk of endometriosis in women consuming red meat, either processed or unprocessed. This study also showed an increase in endometriosis risk with increasing poultry intake. So if you eat chicken, you are also in high amount, you are also at risk, but there is less risk than seen with red meat consumption. This study showed that the effect of red meat consumption was irrespective of dietary fat content. So even if you consume the red meat with low fat inside the meat, then you will still be at risk. Apparently, perhaps the high heme content of red meat could be responsible for these adverse effects that red meat consumption has on endometriosis. Now, even consuming 2 to 4 servings of meat per week increase the risk of endometriosis and this suggests that you want to consume no more than once a week any red meat product. That is best. Now, I also recommend substituting red meat with healthier protein sources like tofu, beans, peas, nuts, seeds, and lentils. You also want to take vitamin D supplements. Vitamin D can influence the body's immune function, and through its effects on the immune system can influence the development of endometriosis. Of course, you only want to take vitamin D if you are deficient, but it has been observed that many people with endometriosis have vitamin D deficiency. It helps reduce the risk of blood vessels forming into lesions that may result in endometriosis. In research that included 9 different studies, the results showed that women with endometriosis had very low levels of vitamin D levels, and so these women with the low vitamin D are at higher risk of developing endometriosis. You may increase your vitamin D intake by supplementing either with 2,000 international units of vitamin D 4 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, or by consuming vitamin D fortified foods, or through skin exposure to the sun at times when the UVB rays are at highest. You can see my video on vitamin D for more information on how to ensure sufficient levels of this nutrient. I'll add a link at the end of this video. Now, you also want to reduce alcohol consumption. Alcohol increases aromatase activity and thus the availability of estrogen in the blood. Therefore, it is considered a risk factor for estrogen-dependent diseases such as endometriosis. According to a 2013 meta-analysis, there is a significant correlation between alcohol consumption and the occurrence of endometriosis. Alcohol also weakens the immune system, and along with an environment that facilitates inflammation through faulty dietary habits, smoking, and then these factors increase the likelihood of chronic endometriosis. Also, regular consumption of alcohol reduces fertility in and of itself. You also want to reduce dairy products and increase high-fiber foods. A high-fiber diet is a diet rich in complex carbohydrates with a low glycemic index. Refined carbohydrates, on the other hand, with high glycemic index, lead to a spike in insulin levels and also increase in insulin like growth factor 1, IGF-1. Dairy products are also rich in IGF-1. Now, these high levels of insulin may reduce the sex hormone binding globulin, which leads to basically higher levels of this sex hormone, these estrogen levels, and these high levels of estrogen and the growth factor IGF-1 both promote the growth of endometrial cells, elevating the risk of endometriosis. Now, the potential benefits of consuming a diet rich in fiber compared to one rich in refined carbohydrates is profound and will also affect your body weight and your microbiome, which are both risk factors for endometriosis. So a high fiber diet, you want to consume whole grain rice, whole grain breads, whole grain pastas. You also want to increase the levels of fruit and vegetables that you are consuming. Now, you also want to increase prebiotic foods and probiotics. Significant changes in the gut microbiome composition are seen in the development of endometriosis in mouse models. Now, dietary-induced changes of the microbiome can therefore influence endometriosis prevention also in humans. Probiotics can help improve the microbiome and are found naturally in kombucha, kefir, and kimchi, and sauerkraut. Now, if you prefer, you may also supplement your diet with probiotic supplements with at least 10 different strains of bacteria and at least 100 billion colony-forming units of bacteria to have sufficient benefit on you. You also want to aim to consume prebiotic foods. These are the foods that support the healthy microbiome, the healthy bacteria in your gut. Prebiotic-rich foods include artichokes, garlic, all different types of onions, potatoes, carrots, asparagus, bananas, apples, oranges, and apricots. Now, the lifestyle changes that you want to take on. Stress, firstly, has a substantial effect on endometriosis symptoms. Stress can be reduced by sufficient sleep. Make sure you're sleeping enough. Make sure you're getting regular physical activity, even walking, yoga, or dancing. And practice mindfulness and meditation. for even 5 minutes a day or twice daily. That's also good. It is also recommended to use natural hygiene and cleaning products in your house and on your body that do not have hormone disrupting chemicals. These are very important, and you can see this in my video, which I'll have a link in this video below. So overall, studies examining the relationship between diet and endometriosis show that what you eat may directly impact the risk of developing endometriosis and minimizing the symptoms. Before going ahead with invasive surgery or hormonal treatment, consider changing your diet and lifestyle choices. Now, if you already have gone through one of these treatment options, as surgery or hormonal therapy, then know that dietary and lifestyle changes are still very crucial because they can prevent recurrence of the condition and are crucial for your fertility and overall health. So I hope you found this video beneficial. I hope it helped you or helped someone close to you. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please also subscribe to my channel if you want to receive more videos on how to heal your body naturally. And also visit my website, GorillaDiet.com, to help you move your health and wellness to a better place for you. Thank you very much for joining.